Hi guys, welcome to a new series, North Node in Pisces. So in order to reflect that beautiful, mysterious Pisces energy, I'm wearing this beautiful, mystical, fairy, blue, shiny dress. So you guys can get a better idea of what Pisces is. So we're gonna dive deep because Pisces is water. But before we do that, let's go back to your South Node in Virgo and see what kind of energies, what kind of memories you're working with, what kind of lifetimes you've had. And then we're going to dive into each house specifically to see how your South Node and North Node manifests. All right, so South Node in Virgo, you guys have a lot of memories of lifetimes when you were of service. You love to be of service. That's your biggest strength that you bring to all of us. If in fact, you don't know yourself unless you are of service on some level, and that's your biggest fear in a sense, that you're not going to be needed. You want to be needed. You like for people to depend on you. That's where you shine. So as far as skills that you bring with you with Virgo South Node, practicality, the idea of service. The difference between Pisces and Virgo as far as service, because they both like to be of service, is Pisces is self-sacrificial. Pisces loses itself. Pisces is like a martyr. Virgo is different. Virgo is practical service, grounded service. So you guys have a great attention to detail. You have an eye for you can come in and you can notice what's not functioning, what's not right, what's dirty, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be cleaned. You love things that are dirty. And it can be all kinds of things, from a dirty room to a dirty, somebody's dirty emotional life, somebody's dramatic life. You're very good at coming in and cleaning shit up. You love that. And the dirtier, the messier, the better for you, because then you really feel like I gave it all and I freaking saved somebody today. You love to save people. You are my... If I were to describe Virgo, I would say it's a mixture between Capricorn and Gemini, because it has the practicality and the groundness of Capricorn and that hard work. But at the same time, it has that sharp, quick mind of Gemini. Your mind is sharp. You have great attention to detail. You're great at work that requires a long time, looking at something and breaking it apart, and you don't get bored of that. In fact, you love that. Some people could say, I can't do it, my head hurts. You're different. You will sit there and you'll figure it out. So you guys make great accountants. You guys make, bookkeepers, record keepers, anything where meticulousness is required, attention to detail, no mistakes. Virgo does not tolerate mistakes. Virgo, in that sense, is very perfectionist in the idea of that it has to be done perfect. So if somebody looks at it, they can't find nothing. They can't find a pile of dirt anywhere. People that come in and they swipe like that to see if there's any dust left. That's you guys. So when you guys are done with something, it's squeaky clean. And I mean that in direct sense, with actually cleaning stuff, and also in the theoretical sense. You guys are my cleaners, my fixers, my Ray Donovans that come in and they get the job done and they fix it. When everybody else is running away and panicking, you guys are right there. Put your gloves on and get down to it. All right, so a lot of skills when it comes to precision, detail. At the same time, you're great at, a lot of times they associate Virgo with medical professions. You had a lot of lifetimes where you were of service in a medical way, in a health way, nurses, doctors, surgeons, anywhere where there is a requirement for precision, for attention, for figuring it out, pinpointing it. You do have a scientific mind as well. Your mind is sharp. So you could have been somebody who was very good at catching things, at noticing detail. You guys are great at coming in anywhere. Let's say, how they have these shows where they have I think it's a beauty salon. The woman comes in, I think it's Tabitha, I don't know. She comes in and she right away, she sees what's not working, what needs to be fixed, what could make this place more efficient. That's what Virgo is good at. Now, the downside of Virgo South Nodes is that you guys, because you're so good at detail, because you place such high importance on achieving high quality work, you're perfectionist. So the idea of perfectionist, there's nothing wrong with that, but perfectionist in the extreme can drive you crazy, literally, where you're never satisfied with whatever you produce, where you're always nitpicking. And you do that to yourself more than anybody, right? The first one that gets to feel that is yourself. That idea that you're not perfect, you gotta be better, you gotta be more detailed, better, you can do better. And then it goes on to other people. You do that to other people. You nitpick them apart. You destroy them with your mind. Your mind that's so focused on details and stuff can destroy somebody in every way. You can look at their appearance and you can just completely just, like a surgeon, like a plastic surgeon, the way they like circle things and make little marks, you can do that to somebody and completely just disassemble them and put them together the way you want to see them, because you have a vision. Virgo knows how things need to be. You think you do. You think that your way is the best way, most efficient way, most perfect way. But we all know that we're not all operating like that, you know. So what you guys may think is perfect to somebody can be a nightmare, because it's like it's too much pressure, you know. So Virgo has that tension in them that it has to be perfect, it has to be right, and I have to do it. And if I don't do it, if I don't say it, if I don't pinpoint a finger and criticize, that person is never going to get the better version of themselves. So you guys have that in you. You kind of want to save everybody, and you're very quick to come in and say, you're wrong, this is fucked up, you need to eat better, you need to lose weight, this is dirty, you need to wash your hair. Those kind of ideas, you know. Virgo is critical. Virgo can be very critical, the most critical zodiac sign, and you guys are known for that, and that's okay. So what else? Virgo is also very prudish, because Virgo has this idea of what's right and what's wrong, and you know, Virgo has very clear boundaries on what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's respectful, what's disrespectful. You know, you guys can be very judgmental. You can be very prejudiced as well. You know, you have this idea of how things should be, and you are not afraid to express it. And more than likely, it's, you know, a lot of people probably maybe don't like to be around you so much, because you're always pinpointing their flaws, you know, and nobody likes to see that. So anyway, what else? I guess we can talk more when we dive into each specific house, but I guess general idea would be, you guys can be prejudiced, you guys can be very prudish, you know, this is wrong, this is inappropriate, you know, this is dirty, you know, let's say sex is dirty, you know, we don't do it like this, don't eat like this, make sure you etiquette, you know. Virgo is beautiful in its idea of details and making sure everything's spick and span, but if you take it to an extreme, it becomes destructive. It becomes, instead of building things up, it tears things down, because it just destroys them and says, this is wrong, this is not up to my standards. All right, so with North Node in Pisces, you're here to completely challenge, to change the way you think, the way you approach this world. Instead of coming in with a magnifying glass and sitting there and you know, and looking to see the mistakes, because Virgo is very good at seeing mistakes, mishaps. Virgo has a lot of pet peeves, you know, because the idea of perfection is it has to be like this, and you're very neurotic in that sense. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, and it's going to be hard for you guys, because Virgo, anytime there's a South Node in an Earth sign, it's going to be very hard to break through that rigidity, you know, because Earth signs, they're stubborn in the way they do things. So Virgo is stubborn in the idea of perfection, in the idea of meticulousness, in the idea of the standards that Virgo has. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, to lose yourself in your experience, to lose yourself in the day-to-day, to not look for details, but to see the bigger picture. Instead of tearing things down with your mind, look at it, you know, step back and look at it as the perfection and beauty that it is. Even if it looks fucked up, even if it's dirty, even if it's completely messed up in your critical mind, because your mind is very critical. Even if it looks completely messed up, completely just crazy, does not fit any of your standards, you still have to see the beauty of it. Pisces North Node is unconditional. Pisces is artistic. Pisces challenges you to go from that logical mind and lose yourself in the world of mystery, in the world of intuition, in the world of music, the arts, anything ethereal, fairy tales, anything that's cray-cray, anything that your mind would deem as, oh no, we can't go there, we can't go down that rabbit hole, we're gonna lose our mind. You can lose your mind, guys. It's okay for you guys. It's okay for you guys to completely let go of that inner critic and completely open up to the beauty of you, because you have so much feeling in you and so much intuitive in you, and you want to feel that so much. You desire to get lost in that, because you're tired of being that doctor, that surgeon, that nurse that's like, you know, or that critic that's always like looking for like the wrongs. And you're here to embrace everything around you and get lost in it and produce some beautiful stuff, because Pisces is so artistic, and you could literally just go on this beautiful journey, and then of course share it with us, and you can still be of service, but it's not going to be the critical way. It's going to be in the way of beauty, of calling us, beckoning us like a siren to get lost in your deep waters. Okay, guys, so now let's go into each house and see what we're dealing with over there. Okay? All right, come along. North Node in Pisces in the 5th house. So let's talk about your South Node in Virgo in the 11th house and see what's going on over there. So because it's Virgo South Node, lifetimes of service. And because 11th house is the house of humanity, groups, organizations, friends, anything that's a bunch of people together. You had a lot of memories, you had a lot of lifetimes where you were involved with a lot of causes, very self-righteous causes, very causes that had to do with promoting, what's right, what's wrong, helping people, being of service. I'm thinking like Red Cross, I'm thinking like Salvation Army, maybe more Red Cross, maybe like FEMA, organizations that first respond organizations, the ones that just come in and they help people and they send humanitarian aid. You were maybe somebody like in the Peace Corps who just, devoted your life to service, and it was something that had to do with big groups of people and impacted big groups of people. Somebody like that, somebody who was, you're good at that. You like those humanitarian causes. You like those causes about helping the needy, the poor, cleaning everything up, maybe cleaning up Mother Earth, doing people, I forgot, was Habitat for Humanity, I think, where they go and they, paint people's houses and they clean things up. And that was you. You loved it. You love to be part of groups, organizations. We're going to go, we're going to fix it, we're going to plant flowers, and we're going to do that, and we're going to help people, and we're going to feed, the soup kitchens, things like that, Thanksgiving dinners where you go and you feed the needy. Anywhere you are of service, anywhere they can use you and you can help people, that's you. That's Virgo in the 11th. So you're always kind of eager to jump for the next cause to help humanity. Now, the downfall of that is that because it's Virgo in the South Node, that means that a lot of the organizations that you were a part of, even though you thought you were doing good, you were actually very prejudiced in your ideas of what was good and what was bad. You were almost like, I will help you if you do this. If you follow my rules, I will help you. And I will help you get out of this or fix this for you. But you have to follow my rules. You have to follow my views, So Virgo, you were in that sense, you were prejudiced, you had that puritanical views that of like, you could have been part of those causes that were, let's say, okay, that's a good example. You know how like on CDs, before when we had CDs, they put like warning signs of like strong language, profanity, blah, blah, blah. Anything that had to do with like wrong or right, and you were very passionate about that. And you were part of those causes that was like, this is wrong. There shouldn't be no cussing in songs, so we have to put a label on it. You're one of those mothers that was very passionate about her child never hearing the word fuck on TV because it's wrong. Virgo in the South Node will always have very black and white views of what's right and what's wrong and be very opinionated about it. You were somebody who fought for those ideas, and got a lot of people excited, like we have to oppose, transgender people. We have to, anything that in your book was considered wrong. Let's say you were very religious. Let's say you had a lot of beliefs that had to do with religion. You were very critical probably of like pornography, of like porn stars. You were critical about things like that. So you took up arms and you established organizations and causes that dealt with that fought against that. So in your eyes, you were doing good because you were preventing profanity, you're preventing lewd behavior, mothers against drunk driving, that kind of could fit here. Anywhere you felt like you were doing good. Virgo will always, in the South Node, will always put itself under that umbrella of like, I'm doing good and I'm of service, and because of this, you guys need to thank me because I know what's good for you. It's that hypocritical idea of like, yeah, I know what's right for you, versus letting others decide, everybody decide what's right for them and what they want to watch and what they want to experience. You are the one that was like, no, this is wrong and we have to fight against it. Another idea could be, if we talk about, back in the day, medieval times, when you were the one that was maybe against witches, and maybe somebody who was too much out of bounds, because Virgo is logical. You're one of those people that was like, yeah, burn her, burn them at the stakes, you know. You were the one that was, this is a threat to us, this is wrong, this is immoral. Oh, that's a good word for Virgo, moral and immoral. So you have very strong values on what's moral and immoral, you know. So you were the one that was like, very like associations of like gossipy, you know. I'm thinking about like Victorian era, you know, where there was hush hush about sex, sex is dirty, you know, hypocritical, you know, behind closed doors you were doing whatever, but out there you were like, this is wrong. You were preaching that this is wrong and we have to fight, we have to get together and fight, we have to get rid of all the you know, prostitutes, we got to shut down all these porn shops, we have to, very like idealistic, moralistic views and shoving them down people's throats. That's what you were good at. What else? Virgo in the 11th could be associations with people, you know, like we're right and we're righteous and we follow the word of God and you guys are going to hell, that kind of idea. A lot of prejudice views, judgmental views, that we're better than you guys and you guys need to be punished, you need to be eliminated, that kind of idea. All right, let's talk about your North Node in Pisces. So because it's the 5th house, you're here to get away from the idea of the world, of saving the world, of punishing people, of what's right, what's wrong, what's moral. You got to get away from that. You got to get away from that. You got to get intimate with your own world. 5th house is the world of creativity, of playing, of games, of fun, of indulgence, of just expression. And with Pisces there, you literally have to forget about saving everybody. You're here to forget about your righteousness, your toxic righteousness. You're here to just embrace that creative part of you and let it out. You know, you want to freaking change the world, start painting, start writing songs, do it in a beautiful way, not in a judgmental and I'm better than you way, you know. Yeah, what else? Explore that, you know, get away from those moralistic views and then see the beauty in everything, you know. Play. How about turn off your serious mind and go play, you know, go interact with your kids, go read them a story, a fairy tale, you know. Get away from the righteousness. That's the big one for you guys. And get away from always the idea of belonging to a group, you know. Get away from the group. Do something that you like. Because when you're part of a group, you guys hold each other accountable. You guys are always watching one another. And especially when it's the South Node, it's a group that's based on some shallow, potential, fake stuff. It's not based on real. So 5th house is encouraging you to get away from the group and do what you like to do. And with Pisces there, explore your imagination, explore the weirdness of you, explore the self-indulgent part of you. You know, Pisces likes to escape. I don't know, do some drugs, do anything that you're against, because you have a lot of very clear-cut views on what's right and what's wrong. So the best advice for you is to do those things that you're against. If you're against smoking, try a cigarette. If you're against drinking, have a drink. You need to experience those things and see them as experience and not see them as this needs to be abolished. Another idea that I just thought about would be like the prohibition. You know, when alcohol was completely illegal. And so those kind of ideas, that people that said that alcohol is wrong and this is wrong, we got to get rid of it. That's you guys, you know, those lobbyists for the right, for the just, for the good causes. You know, I'm doing good because humans don't know what's good for them, and I know what's good for them. So listen to me. So yeah, in your case, whatever you're critical of, you need to try it, to see that it's an experience, to explore that world, to see that maybe it's okay for a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? So get away from the logical, get away from the critical, get away from the judgmental, and explore. Dive into your imagination, dive into your creativity, dive into your intuition, express it, paint, sing, you know, theater. 5th house, just play. Don't worry about what the group is going to think about you. Don't worry about if nobody will ever talk to you. Don't worry about if your church friends will turn their backs on you. Do not worry about that, because they're not real friends anyway. You know, it's all fake. It's all ego. It's all coming from ego and that idea of righteousness. You know, don't need to be of service to anybody. Be of service to yourself. And that's it. That's all I have to say. Pisces in the 5th. Get creative, dive in, shut the world out, explore your inner world, and see that you don't need to be so critical, that everything around you is beautiful, that everybody's allowed to express themselves, that people can be porn stars if they want to, and if they want to cuss, they can cuss. And if they want to listen to rap music that has profanity in it, that's okay too, because we're all allowed to be here and we're all allowed to freaking express ourselves. Okay? All right, guys, have fun. Get to know your world.